Testing 1, 2. Share this on your social media, please. Share this on your social media. All right, man. All right. Crazy kids. Hey, people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Yes, we're back. You guessed it. Couldn't hide from you. No, couldn't hide from you. Some of you know where I'm at. So, yeah, I was worried you'd become looking for me. Check this out, guys. Tim Black Show. We're live streaming on Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. And like right now, I want to go make sure that that's actually happening. Because a false sense of security, that's never good, especially when you're working with the internet. So let's go to YouTube and see if we got YouTube love out there. What up, YouTube peoples? What's up, David and Lisa and Will and Brian and Joe and AH and Sheldon and Jesus and Kauai and Brian and Dr. XXX, Aurora, Adela Sandro. I just like saying it because it's hard. Prove that I can, enunciate. Adela Sandro. Maker of things. People, Aurora, I know people just be like, yo, what's up, DT? Yeah, I'm not even going to try the rest. Now you get that a lot. What's up, Gray Matters? Eric W., Brian Loftus, Jerry, Arbor, K. Wood, Viking Tees, Cheese Zeus, Brad Bloom, Lady AEM, K. Wood, Lonnie McVeigh, Michael Torres, David Rutherford, Lonnie's in the house. Hey, Maris, what's up? Hey, Maris, how you been? Good to see you. And I tell people, man, they call me Rory. Okay, yeah. Aurora, man, I was a little kid, but seeing a black woman on Star Trek when I was a kid, man, just wow. I was like, wow, man. She looks mean, but she looks cute. Like I was very young. But I just remember Aurora, man. That name, Aurora. Sound like a spaceship thing, a planet. Mastermind. With a name like Tim, Hi, Timmy. Always wanted a more interesting name, Aurora. You know what I'm saying? Like something with a little pizzazz to it. Then shortly after that, the brothers, that's when they start making brothers with cool names, like Deontay, DeAndre. You know what I'm saying? I had one of them old bland names. Little did I know it would come in very handy when working for the white man. Didn't know. I was like, they're like, you got a corny name. I'm like, yeah, okay. 20 years later, I had a good job. They sweeping. What's wrong, Jalaquanda? What's wrong, Jaheim? Couldn't get a job? Actually, it's not funny, but it's true. All the Timmys and the Bobbies and the Billies, they made fun of us with the corny white boy names. But all the cool black names meant we were unemployed. Now it's just out of hand. I met a sister named Chandelier. Brother named Maybach. That was his name. His name was Maybach Jenkins. So where you going to work at, Maybach? Let's go to Facebook and see where the Facebook peoples is at. Hey, Facebook people, how y'all doing? I had a little love on Facebook. Hey, Britta like the filter. How you doing? Hey, Marie, how you doing? Zara, Terry, Julie, Alana. Why I feel like I'm Trump when I say that? Alana, China. Damon, what's up? Tammy and Bibby. Good to see you, Bibby. Bibby is the official Tim Black Wolfpack shirt wearer. That she is. She's a Tim Black. She's the official TBTV shirt wearer. Because she wears a lot of our gear. We appreciate you, Bibby. Thank you so much. Pat Spray, Jeanette Eastman, Charles, and Brad and Bruce Linnell. Bruce, what's up, man? Shout out to Big Brother Buck in the house. Hope you still up, Buck. I don't know if you up, man, because I know Buck said, I got to get up early. I got to work, bro. But we love you, Buck. Buck not only moderates the Tim Black Speak On It group on Facebook, but he also does a lot of moderation on our chat. So shout out to Buck B. Buck. And he's got another Facebook group, too. I think it's called the Burnstormers, Barney Burnstormers or something. So go check that out. Hey, what's up, Bri? And Amy, good to have you. And Steve, good to see you, Steve Whipbrant. And Colleen and Steven. And look, guys, and with that, we're going to get the show started. Let me just let you know. Now, we're trying a new service, right? Because I told everyone, I say, Tim Black Show, we want to get out because I love coming out and meeting people and doing stuff live. I mean, it's fun. The internet's fun, don't get me wrong, but I even have more fun in person. I like interacting with people. I like the energy of live shows. I had a ball when I was able to do that. I think I'm better in person. At least I know when the jokes aren't working. You know, you never know when a joke doesn't work when you're online. It's like I have to kind of imagine people laughing or not laughing. I have to imagine when it's time to go to the next thing. So I love doing that face-to-face stuff. But you know, considering the fact that the world may be ending, we got a pandemic going on. And look, I don't mean it that bad. For some people, it's just a break. You know, some of y'all needed a break. For others, not so much. But considering what's going on right now, I'm unable to do that. But there's this service, right? There's a service that Google's offering where you can do a virtual meet and greet. Now, this is the first time that I'm ever using it, but it looks like it's legit. So look, this is where you go to get a ticket. It's only $10, right? You and I will be able to talk one-on-one, privately, like in a chat thing, just you and I, face-to-face. Go to bit.ly /TB Meet Greet. That's bit.ly, bit.ly /TB Meet Greet. And we're going to do that Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's only $10. You and I, it's only 30 people, right? First 30 people and it's over. Because that's their system. And look, so I hope that you want to do it. They have various things we can do. Meet and greets, and then there's also like photos and selfies or whatever. It's like a lot of cool stuff. So they offered it, and I'm like, well, you know what? Let me try it and see if my people like it, and it'll be something that we could do. They won't let us do it for free because, well, they're trying to make money off us, frankly. but not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I figured if this was the real world, people would put $5 in a gas tank, maybe $10 in a gas tank. It ain't that bad. You know, we could do $10. And, okay. All right. Enough of that, right? bit.ly/TB meet and greet. I'll be talking about it tomorrow on the show as well because it's Saturday. All right. What else do we have? Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm ready to go, guys. You guys ready to go? All right. We good? We share this to a couple people online. I heard there's been a lot of people online lately. A lot of people been online lately doing shows. Everybody doing shows like us now because of the situation. All right, so I got 3 stories, really 4 stories, right? I'd like to start off with story number 1 because that's how numbers work. Typically, we start with the lowest number, work our way up. So, yeah, man, we like to talk about the fact that we got a lot of people that are suffering right now due to the coronavirus. And this is serious business, man. This is what's happening all across the country. People are, some people are going stir crazy just because of the fact that they can't get out and do what they used to do. Some people are financially strapped. Financially strapped. There's no money coming in. They were living paycheck to paycheck, and now there's no dinero, okay? There are people with small businesses who are in worse positions because they got employees they got to break the news to and tell them, hey, no mas. Or they're trying to get money from the government who somehow gave all the money to the big corporations. Oh, man, who knew that was going to happen? So for a lot of people, man, this is a very rough time. But what's going on in Michigan right now? I'm still trying to wrap my head around what people thinking about here, what's really happening. The protests in Michigan have gotten even worse. These people done stormed the Capitol building. Now, this is based on the reports that they're putting out. I wish I was in Michigan to find out exactly what's going on, okay? But based on what I'm reading, these fools that took over the Michigan State Police now. Michigan State Police. They say Governor Gretchen Whitmer was trapped inside the Capitol building by demonstrators protesting against her stay-at-home order. They say the governor was trapped, could not leave the state building because protesters had entered the building, some of them carrying firearms. Here goes a little bit of that. Now, I'm getting mixed reports, right? We're getting mixed reports about what really took place during this. This one really caught my attention, right? Because people kept saying there was people went here with, there were people armed inside the state capitol building. This is from someone on the ground that said, a Michigan Senator, Dana Polhanke, says, had tweeted this afternoon saying that protesters were directly above her. Men with rifles yelling at us. Some of my colleagues who own bulletproof vests are wearing them. I have never appreciated a sergeant of arms more than today. That's the tweet, okay? So, now according to the Michigan Police Department, there were about 400 to 700 people descended upon the state building, and they dispersed around 5 p.m. There was only one arrest, and that one arrest was because a couple of the demonstrators got into an argument with each other. Okay, so here goes one of the images. Let's see, we got another one here. Now, this is something I saw online, sort of depicting what's happening. These pieces of crap, this is not a strong man, this is a weak-ass moron. It's time for these racist morons to go back into hiding because Americans will stand up to you. Americans will stand up to you. Okay, this guy's yelling, obviously pissed off. Okay. Now, let's take a break from that. Let's go here. Let's go here real quick. Let me come back on screen. Now, one of the problems I had with this story is that there's really no way to know exactly what took place. Now, of course, the media is making it look one way, right? It's making it look like we got a bunch of deranged people just out here with guns. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see a lot of guns in the state capitol building. I saw those guys up on the scaffolding, up on whatever that was, but down on the floor where you saw the major crowd of people, I didn't see people with guns down there. That's what I saw. Now, of course, yes, there were people outside with guns. Don't get me wrong, people had guns. Maybe they left them outside to go in the state building, but then I saw people with guns in the state building. So, hey, how many guns does it take before people get worried? And if the governor of Michigan was actually concerned about his safety, that's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal because, well, you're not supposed to think you're going to get shot by your constituents. And remember, this is all about stay-at-home orders. People want to go back to work or resume their lives. This is the thing, guys. There's no such thing as resuming your life at this point. I mean, you can resume your life, but it'll never be the life you had before. Life has changed. Get it? It's different now. It's the same way we feel after Trump got elected. The country will never go back to the way it was. We have had a game show host as a president. That's it. All bets off. Things are different. It's not going to go back. You can try to run a Joe Biden if you want to, but it's not going to go back to the way it was. That's off the table. That's not an option. It's sort of like when you left your mama's house and you started doing what you wanted to do with your life. Things got tough. You went back home, but it was never the same because you had a taste of the wild side. That's America. Now, with a pandemic where, 6,000 people dying a day or some crazy number, do you realize that we have people that don't understand why a stay-at-home order makes sense? We are running out of dirt. The Veteran Affairs Administration just ordered $300,000 worth of body bags. They didn't order them for fun, Johnson. It's because veterans in VA homes are dying at a rate that they have to stock up on ways to put the bodies in something. You may think it's not true, and we're going to get to that because we're going to cover another story about that, but this is what's happening. Now, where there's a disconnection is there are some people, to a certain degree, I'm not sure exactly how to believe or what to believe about the portion of people that just want to get their hair did or their eyebrows teased, and how many people are really hurting financially. And I don't want to buy into the narrative that everybody out there just wants to go-kart riding. I don't want to buy into that. I think some people there have to make a living. But even if it's 50-50, Johnson, that's too lopsided. Okay? Too lopsided. Now, as a black person in America, I got to remind you that you don't always treat us as nice. No, you don't always treat us as nice when we have guns and stuff. You get real afraid when we got guns. For some reason, you trust each other with guns, but when we have guns, y'all lose your minds. As this young lady here reminded me, Alma Bachman. We follow each other on Twitter. She says, I can't think about Tamir Rice without wanting to cry. We live in a country where white men can terrorize government officials with weapons, while a black kid can't play with a toy gun. This is a shithole country. Okay, so you may not want to accept this, right? And I'm not saying it's all your fault, Johnson. You just live here like I do. But you need to understand how some people view this. We got a bunch of pissed off white guys and women at a state capitol making people uneasy. And the worst thing that happens is one person gets arrested for punching each other. And then we have a child in Ohio, in a gun state, carry gun state, you can carry a gun, who's killed at a park with a toy gun. Not because he tried to rob someone, not because he was shooting something, because they looked like it was real. You understand? They shot him and blew his brains out. But we got these protesters who are allowed to carry AR-15s or whatever type of rifles they want to in public, and we're pissed off with signs saying we want our government back. And people aren't worried. They're not afraid. Cops are suddenly not worried they're going to get shot. Do you understand that may seem a little biased? A little biased. So put a pin in that. Put a pin in that, America, because we also want to remind you of this. See, as much as I want to say, hey, what about the people whose money ain't right? And what about the good peoples that, have businesses that they've been working at, that they've been building, blood, sweat, and tears for however long, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, businesses handed down in the family that are going bye-bye because they can't open up and their bills are piling up. And as much as I want to feel for that, I keep seeing this type of nonsense that really puts a damper on my solidarity with you guys. When I see shit like this, mass equals slavery. Here we have Karen. Okay? And I'm going to call it Karen. All right? Because you're in a privileged position as being a white lady in America. The only person more powerful than white women in America are white men. Are white guys. Okay? All right? And she feels like she's a slave because she's been told to wear a mask. Now, there's a couple things wrong with this picture. I don't know if you guys notice this. She's saying slavery, mask equals slavery. Notice this. Notice she ain't wearing one. Okay? Notice she said mask or slavery, but she ain't wearing one. So it kind of defeats the purpose because you're not actually wearing one, are you? Now, even if you're dumb enough to think that a CDC order, a directive, a guidance to stop the spread of a pandemic that's killing thousands of people on a daily basis. We've already lost more people than we lost in Vietnam. Do you understand? Just because it's not you yet doesn't mean it's not real, Johnson. Keep on messing around, maybe it will be. And then on your last words can be, I didn't know it was real. But this woman thinks that wearing a mask to prevent the spread of a virus is slavery. Now, there are a lot of dead people in America that could tell you different. There are a lot of ancestors. There are a lot of people who are descendants of slaves in America that could tell you it's a big difference. There are people literally in this world today who are slaves. Literally. There are sex slaves. There are children who are slaves. And there are men, grown-ass men and women in places like Libya who are literally slaves right now. And their problem, the only problem isn't where they're going to get their hair done, or can they go get a bucket of chicken, or they can't go fishing. Their problem is they can't do anything. They are raped, beaten, and killed and sold like livestock. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but that may be a little bit, it seems a little insensitive of you. So this is what we deal with here. As for Michigan and these other locations, if you would like to share your story of hardship, Michiganders, and people in other states too. I think Wisconsin was another bid of protest. Virginia, for instance. Send your stories to Tim at TimBlackTV.com, and we'll cover it. I have no problems doing that. Or you can call up tomorrow on the Freedom Friday show and tell us and put some color and some context to why you guys are protesting. Because to some of us, a lot of you seem like this lady here. Totally disconnected from reality. All right. Now, story number 2. Jesus Christ. Well, you know, we've been talking about this on this channel. It's not new, okay? You know, Joe Biden is not my first choice or my second choice or my third choice. He ain't even on my list of choices when it comes to presidents, okay? That's something I would ever conjure up, is having to go back and make a decision like, do I want the former vice president, segregationist apologist, guy who eulogized a big-ass bigot, Strom Thurmond, why would I even be considered? Why would I have to even decide should he be the president? Like, why is his name on the ballot? I never would have chose that, Johnson. But here we are. Here we are. We're going back to the future. Okay? Now, there's a fly in the ointment, even after all the rigging that the DNC has done, to help Joe Biden become, or anybody become, to be able to beat Bernie Sanders and get the nomination. It's this little thing of these allegations hanging over the head of Joe Biden. And up until this point, they've been pretty much able to pretend they don't exist. Well, suddenly the story of Tara Reid, or maybe not so suddenly, Johnson, has blown open. It has now become a topic of conversation. Now that Bernie Sanders has safely suspended his campaign, hopefully he will restart his campaign. Tara Reid alleges that Joe Biden sexually assaulted her, raped her back in 1993 when she was an intern working for the senator. And now that conversation has begun. Now they're starting to talk about it. Here goes a couple clips about that conversation that's finally happening.
Someone who wants to be as vice president, I think it's important that we speak about something that's in the news now. As you know, there is a sexual assault allegation against Joe Biden. The accuser, her name is Tara Reid, tells CNN that the alleged incident happened in 1993 while she was working as an aide in Biden's Senate office. She is claiming that she was delivering Biden a duffel bag and says that Biden had her up against the wall in a corridor on the Hill and violated her with his fingers. Now, CNN has now spoken on the record with her former neighbor, who says Reid told her about the allegation within a few years of the alleged incident. Biden's campaign says untrue, never happened. Is this a credible allegation?
I believe that women deserve to be heard, and I believe that they need to be listened to. But I also believe that those allegations have to be investigated by credible sources.
Now to developments in a story involving a sexual assault allegation against Joe Biden, which he denies. A new person coming forward to vouch for the woman who made this accusation. The allegation by a former Senate aide to Biden, Tara Reid, who alleges that Biden sexually assaulted her in a Senate building in 1993. The New York Times reported Reid, quote, briefly worked as a staff assistant in Biden's Senate office and said in 1993 Biden pinned her to a wall and sexually assaulted her. A spokesman for Biden says the allegation was false. The Times reported, quote, no other allegation about sexual assault surfaced in the course of reporting, nor did any former Biden staff members corroborate details of Reid's allegation. The Times found no pattern of sexual misconduct by Biden. The Biden campaign adamantly denies the entire account, stating, quote, it is untrue. This absolutely did not happen, while Biden himself has not publicly addressed the allegation. Now, what is the conclusion of what the New York Times found? Here's how Times reporter Lisa Lehrer described her own reporting.
Tara mentions to me is that at the time she had called a friend and told her the whole story. So I tracked down the friend and, in large part, she corroborates the story that Tara had told me. She tells me she told a friend in 2008 after Joe Biden had been picked as Barack Obama's vice president, and she confirms that account and some of the things that Tara tells me.
Where does that leave you?
So it leaves us with something, but certainly not enough to corroborate this entire story.
That's the New York Times. Now, a new person is going on the record by name vouching for Reid, telling Business Insider that Reid told her the account of being assaulted around 1995 or 96, roughly 2 to 3 years after the alleged account. Quote, this happened, and I know it did because I remember her talking about it, is what this person said. Now, Business Insider reports the witness is Reid's former neighbor and adds that she is a Democrat and also intends to vote for Biden this year. In Congress, top Democrats are standing with Biden. Senator Coons defending him just in the previous hour on MSNBC today, as did his former primary rival, Senator Gillibrand, and recent booster, Congressman Clyburn. Now, the way to learn about this kind of story is to address it, ask the questions, and listen to the evidence. We have been asking officials about the issue, and here are some of the responses from another former Biden primary rival, Senator Klobuchar, and the top-ranking Democrat in government, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, from my recent interviews with them.
I think this case has been investigated. I know the vice president as a major leader on domestic abuse. I worked with him on that. And I think that, again, the viewers should read the article. It was very thorough.
There was an accusation of misconduct against Joe Biden. He has publicly denied it. He is the Democratic nominee. Are you satisfied with his answer?
I am satisfied with his answer, yes.
So the Stacey Abrams who responded to it, she gave a BS response. She defended Joe Biden, said that, I respect women, want to hear women out, but then she went and pivoted directly and said she believed Joe Biden without even listening to the women at all. As you can see here, Ari, explained the situation, but, you got women like Amy Klobuchar going, hey, well, we love Joe. We know Joe. And Joe, that's the common thread is we know Joe and we know how Joe is. And, so they're pretty much dismissive of Tara Reade's allegations. As you can see, though, in the New York Times case, or New York Times investigation, did find something. And this is even before what's not included here, which is the Larry King segment back from 1993, when a woman who Tara Reade identifies as her mother calls into the Larry King show and says, hey, my daughter worked for a senator and something happened and she's not getting any help and we don't know where to go from here. And it's so all of these pieces add up to something more than, obviously than what the Democrats are, amounting it to. A lot more, okay? Definitely enough to be taken a look at. So yesterday I sat down with Professor Anthony Zinkas and we had a conversation about it. And Zinkas is he's not only an advocate for women, but he's given many instructions and trained a lot of officials on sexual harassment and rape victims and trauma. And here goes part of our conversation.
Stacey Abrams, in saying that Joe Biden did not have to answer directly to these allegations, these credible allegations of rape against him, is feeding directly into rape culture. I cannot tell you how many DMs and tweets and Facebook messages that I have gotten from survivors who say that the way Tara is being treated by people like Stacey Abrams, by people like Joan Walsh, by people like Amanda Marcotte, by all the other people who are being silent, how that has affected them in a detrimental way, has re-traumatized them. And I have people daily writing me saying things like, this is why I don't tell my story. And I will say this to Stacey Abrams, and I will say this to everybody who has not given Tara Reade the consideration that she deserves. You are feeding into rape culture, and your actions are creating space for men to, and powerful men especially, to continue to victimize women. You need to stop.
Well, has it stopped? Are they ready to take a look at this honestly? I don't know. Doesn't seem that way at all. Well, rocketing to more publicity was Chris Hayes of MSNBC speaking about it. And as you can see, Chris Hayes is not the only one, but it seems like Chris Hayes caught the most backlash because he was the one who gave it a little bit more consideration than some of his colleagues. Here goes a clip of Chris Hayes discussing it on All In with Chris Hayes just last night.
There have been moments, I think for many of us, all of us, when we have heard about accusations against someone that we find ourselves desperately wanting not to believe. whether that is because we have some personal admiration for the individual or their work, or political admiration, someone on our quote-unquote side. But part of the difficult lesson of the Me Too era is not that every accusation is true and everything should be believed on its face, but that you do have to fight yourself when you feel that impulse. You have to do that in order to take seriously what is being alleged and what the evidence is and to evaluate it. And that is the case with the accusation by a woman named Tara Reade against Joe Biden. Reade briefly worked as a Senate aide in Biden's office in the early 90s. Last year, she told a California newspaper that in 1993, Joe Biden, quote, touched her several times, making her feel uncomfortable. Now, at that time, Reade was one of several women who came forward around that moment with accusations against the former vice president of inappropriate sort of over-physicalness, touching, kissing, or hugging that they say made them feel uncomfortable. Then last month, she made a much more serious allegation, telling first a podcast and later the New York Times that in 1993, Joe Biden pinned her to a wall in the Senate building, reached under her clothing, and penetrated her with his fingers. Reade told the Times that she filed a complaint with the Senate that same year about what happened with Biden. Quote, she said she did not have a copy of it and such paperwork has not been located. Now, Reade also said she complained to Biden's executive assistant, as well as to two top aides about harassment by Mr. Biden, not mentioning the alleged assault. All three of those people who were interviewed by the Times deny having any memory of a complaint. A spokeswoman for Joe Biden says the allegation is false, and they have strongly denied it. This week, there was also a new development in the story, and that is that Tara Reade's former neighbor at the time went on the record with her name telling Business Insider that in 1995 or 1996, a few years after this, that Reade told her she had been assaulted by Biden. NBC News reached out to Reade's neighbor, who later confirmed by text message the story. This on-the-record reporting from a neighbor, a roughly contemporaneous relaying of the story, has rightly occasioned a new round of coverage and scrutiny, while also creating some serious tension within the progressive coalition about how the Biden
So, Chris Hayes, who to me all he did was be a little bit more human towards Tara Reade, which, considering her feelings, considering that, hey, he just came from a vantage point that, hey, we really don't know what's what. We don't really know if she's not telling the truth or not. Let's treat her like a human being and respect the fact that she is making these allegations in a public manner. And let's also be introspective in how we deal with it. And for that, you know, the liberals, the moderate liberals, the establishment liberals, of course they acted sensibly, right? Of course they conducted themselves like the supporters of victims that they claim to be, of course, right? Of course not, Johnson. What they did was they started a hashtag fire Chris Hayes. And they want to cancel Chris Hayes because Chris Hayes didn't say she was right or she was true or validated the claims, just treated them as they were worthy to be considered, that they should be investigated, which is something else that, you know, a couple of other folks have pointed out needs to happen. And for that, he was vilified. They went so far as to call Chris Hayes a Putin puppet. I'm not playing, folks. They said that Chris Hayes works for the Russians. Now, he didn't work for the Russians before this, but now he does all of a sudden because, well, Tara Reade is trying to bring down Joe Biden. Well, today in a press conference, Nancy Pelosi was asked about Tara Reade and Joe Biden, and she had something to say too. And of course, Nancy Pelosi, being a woman, is advocate for feminist rights, and sure she stood up for Tara, right?
Complete respect for the whole Me Too movement.
As Biden is a concern, how do Democrats square with the idea that they're essentially they're standing by Biden, but they're using a comparatively different standard with Kavanaugh when he demanded a investigation on Justice Kavanaugh, when a very similar allegation came out on him.
Well, let me just say, I respect your question, and I don't need a lecture or a speech. Here's the thing. I have complete respect for the whole Me Too movement. I have 4 daughters and 1 son. And there's a lot of excitement around the idea that women will be heard and be listened to. There is also due process. And the fact that Joe Biden is Joe Biden, there's been statements from his campaign, or not his campaign, but his former employees who ran his offices and the rest, that there was never any record of this. There was never any record. And that nobody ever came forward, or nobody ever came forward to say something about it apart from the principal involved. I am so proud. The happiest day for me this week was to support Joe Biden for President of the United States. He's a person of great integrity, a great concern for the American people. He authored the Violence Against Women Act when he was the chair of the Judiciary Committee in the 90s. He has been an advocate for funding it all along since then. And I believe that he will be a great president of the United States. He is the personification of hope and optimism and authenticity for our country, a person of great values. So I want to remove all doubt in anyone's mind. I have a great comfort level with the situation as I see it, with all the respect in the world for any woman who comes forward, with all the highest regard for Joe Biden. And that's what I have to say about that. Thank you. Excuse me.
Thank you, Ms. Hyman.
Well, the ending of that was really bad. Come on, Clyburn, come on. Need you to drive me. All right, so Nancy Pelosi fell right in line with everybody else in defending Joe Biden. She says on one side of her mouth that she respects women and some crap about how everyone's really excited. We're really excited around the idea that women will be listened to. Yeah, Nancy, unfortunately, it is just an idea. It's not a reality because people like you are not listening. I mean, you are listening when it's Republicans, but you're not listening because it's a Democrat. And not just a Democrat, because you guys were fine with throwing Franken under the bus for just doing this. But, a Democrat that you all know, because we all know Joe. And to say that you're not being disrespectful to Tara Reid is just BS. I mean, come on, you are downright defending Joe Biden on a situation that you have no way of knowing if he did or didn't do anything. There's no way Nancy Pelosi knows what happened. Why can't people just be like, hey, I don't know. I know Joe. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the investigation yields. Let's have a real investigation. But they don't want to do that because they want to protect their friend, which is the epitome of hypocrisy. Now, whether you like the fact that Brett Kavanaugh sits on the Supreme Court justice or not, doesn't matter. The bottom line is that they raked that guy over the coals. I covered it. I said they should get to the bottom of it. I'm not going to change that now. So for those watching the show going, Tim Black is falling in line with the right wing or whatever, think what you want to think. I wanted an investigation of Brett Kavanaugh. I did not defend the guy who wanted all the beers. I made jokes about it. I said they need to look into it. I'm being consistent. They're the ones being hypocritical. And I won't fall for it. I won't do it, Johnson. Now, my gag reflex was fully engaged as Nancy Pelosi talked about Joe Biden as being the epitome of hope. How about the epitome of nope? The epitome of optimism. How about the epitome of autism? The epitome of authenticity. How about the epitome of creepy? That would be more an accurate description of what Joe Biden is to us. Am I the only one that's seen this guy sniffing people's hair, touching people inappropriately, and creeping little girls the hell out? Who does that? You pick that guy as your guy. And then you wonder why people believe he may have raped someone. It's congruent with his lack of appreciation for a woman's space and the power over her own body. It's obvious. There's strippers in Magic City who get treated with more respect than the way Joe Biden treats women on a daily basis. I saw him give Hillary Clinton a much too long of a hug than appropriate. She was the first lady. How many people saw that? I saw it. Have you seen it? She tapped his back like 5 times to let go. He just kept holding on. And the cameras were rolling. These are not... So when people say, well, Tim Black, this was in a public building. She's suggesting, Tara Reid is suggesting that Joe Biden would be so brazen as to do something so disgusting in a public setting. Yeah, Harvey Weinstein did stuff in a public setting, didn't he, Johnson? And I saw Joe Biden do inappropriate things I would never do, with cameras fully running in front of the world. He knew he was on camera and still whispering in the ear of people's wives, touching their children, and even being handsy with the First Lady. These are not things I make up. These are things I've seen, mofo. And it's got nothing to do with we want Trump to win. No, that's not the point. You still have a chance, Democrats. You could run someone where you'd have a thing called the moral high ground. But with Joe Biden, you're in the gutter with Trump. Even Donald Trump's now going, yeah, well, who knows what's true? I mean, I have allegations of my own. That's the sound of your stock falling, Democrats. And I'm not saying that you really occupied the moral ground, but at least you could sell it to people. There was still a portion of society that actually believed that the Democrats are the protectors of the people and that the Republicans are the evildoers. And I believe it's more gray, and I believe there's a lot of that on both sides of the fence. And it doesn't matter the name tag, it matters what you've done. And what I've seen them do is very similar. And most of us will not vote for a rapist, regardless of which name tag they don or what color tie they wear. Well, all that being said, Johnson, there is one win in all of this so far. And that's that Joe Biden will address this issue tomorrow on Morning Joe. Yeah, and believe me, guys, this ain't something Joe wants to do. Joe doesn't want to have to answer for this. He doesn't want to talk about it, because talking about it makes it more legitimate, doesn't it, Johnson? Now, you or I would love the opportunity to defend ourselves if someone was smearing us. We wouldn't want to run from it, because running from it and not speaking to it would make us look guilty. But see, we're regular working people. We're not a part of that big club. It's a big club and we ain't in it, Johnson. So for Joe Biden, the play was always to ignore it as long as possible. Hope that no one talks about it. Hope that the cable news media wants him elected more than they want money from viewers. And obviously we see what they decided to do, Johnson, at the end of the day, which is part of the reason why we got Donald Trump to begin with. They can't, look, wherever they go, they're still who they are. All right, so tomorrow morning, Joe Biden will be addressing these issues. Let's see if Jill Biden does most of the talking, Johnson. And if she does, it'll be reminiscent of Bill Clinton. All right. Wow, that was fun, man. Yeah, I got that on tape. That's good. All right. Next story, guys. Got 2 more. Hang with me. How many people know about QAnon? You know about QAnon? My brother watched it. Hey, bruh, you on borderline QAnon stuff yourself. Let's go to that story. An exotic fire dancer, QAnon follower, arrested near USNS, New York City, USNS, comfort with a car full of knives, says she was going to deal with Joe Biden. A woman is in custody after showing up in a Manhattan outside the Navy hospital ship USNS Comfort with a car full of knives and other blunt objects, authorities said on Thursday. The woman, Jessica Prim, live streamed parts of a road trip on Facebook, offering a tearful and agitated rant, occasionally stripping down to her bra and showing off the new tattoos on her arm. Ugh. The final video she posted shows a sobbing Prim saying, "I'm so scared," over and over as an officer urges her to turn off her car and calm the hell down. "I was watching a press conference with Donald Trump and I felt like he was talking to me," she said, explaining she's a fire dancer and a costume maker by trade who also goes by the name of Nikita Steele. She faces 18 counts of criminal possession of a weapon for the variety of knives and other objects found in her car. So what is this QAnon devotee's deal, man? Well, QAnon is a theory of the Trump era. Plotters in the deep state tried to shoot down Air Force One and foil President Trump's North Korea summit. A cabal of global elites, including top figures in Hollywood, the Democratic Party, and the intelligence agencies, are responsible for nearly all the evil in the world. And now Trump's going to fix it all with thousands of sealed documents, sending the likes of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama straight to Guantanamo Bay, mofo. At least that's how the world is going to the believers of QAnon, the complex pro-Trump conspiracy theory that's starting to have unpredictable effects in real life. The real news, the Trump news, the QAnons. The Great Awakening, prepare your minds. It's time for QAnon, y'all. Yeah, baby. Okay, so, all right, Jessica Prim, she seemed like she needs some help. But to those people out there, man, there's a lot of people out there who believe in a lot of the things I just pointed out. They believe that there is a conspiracy to stop Donald Trump and that Donald Trump was sent by God himself to save us from the Democrats, the CIA, the deep state, and Hollywood executives who are actually child eaters or stuff. They do stuff to children, which I won't say because I don't want my video or my show to be demonetized or even scrubbed from the internet. So these are things that people are saying are real, Johnson, and real people believe it. The problem is some people are acting on their beliefs. They're acting out. They're doing things. Jessica Prim is just the latest example of that. Look, I can't explain why things happen the way they do. But I believe in this country, in this world, it being such a big place, something that QAnon people and most people who believe in conspiracy theories don't consider. The government doesn't have to make things happen just for them to happen, Johnson. We got a big country. People die every day. Things happen. All you got to do really is to wait for something to happen. It'll happen. All right? No one has to make people shoot stuff or shoot people. We got a country full of guns. We got more guns than people, Johnson. So a lot of the tragedies and a lot of things that happen, guys, I don't think they're caused by the government. I think they just happen. But that doesn't explain everything, like population control, the new Michael Moore documentary of showing how the environmental fight for Green Day or whatever the hell, like that's a losing battle, that they're using fossil fuels in order to provide alternative fuels. And we're amping up the fossil fuels to make the alternative fuels work. And it's crazy, Johnson. Then we got the fact that we're running out of food and they're pumping it full of hormones and we don't know where it's all going to lead to, and we just don't have no place to ride our horsey, and the DMV lines are too long and somebody got to go, and maybe this whole coronavirus is made in a lab in order to slim down the population and just make the world more inhabitable for the rest of us and kill off a large percentage of black folks. Or at the end of the day, I can't tell you if it's right or wrong. I can just tell you it sounds nuts. But I can't say it's wrong or right. I can't say I'm tired of my brother calling me up and telling me these stories. I want to call him nuts, but I can't because, like I said, I don't know. But to all those with the overactive imaginations who will definitely pummel my comment section, let me tell you this. If the government want to kill you, they ain't got to go through long, winding tactics. All they got to do is put something in the Newports and something for the blacks and something in the Marlboros for the whites and something in the Camels for the foreigners or whatever, the immigrants, and something in the, I don't know, something. Everybody's got something that's theirs. That's all they'd have to do, Johnson. They wouldn't have to create a virus that has no borders, no off button, no off switch. It can go anywhere. Do you really think rich bastards would put themselves in harm's way when all they had to do was have anyone who ate Taco Bell catch a rectal disorder? I don't know, Johnson. That would get a lot of you, wouldn't it? That and Denny's in the Waffle House. All they got to do. But see, that's too simple. Where's the intrigue, Tim Black? You took the fun out of being QAnon. All right. Last but not least, I like to do fun stories every now and then to kind of lighten the mood. We got so much sadness and death, and especially now what's going on with the coronavirus, COVID-19. Every day is a battle, and people losing touch with reality, and people being in the house too long, and just a myriad of things. Being around your kids all day, and it's just sitting around and knowing that your ice machine doesn't work on your refrigerator, or that Nancy Pelosi has a $20,000 refrigerator, and she has two of them, two $20,000. My old refrigerator, I can't even get ice to work in it. These things are depressing, Johnson, so we need pick-me-ups. Here goes a pick-me-up. So I saw this on Twitter, guys, and I just want you to realize that we are evolving as a species. We are getting better. We are growing. And when I say we, I mean dads. Dads, you're getting better, Dad. You're not as bad as you used to be. From the dad that Chris Tucker demonstrated in his latest comedy special, who used to spank him and his brother on the couch, slave style, to the dad who used to punch you in the mouth. All the white dads who punched their kids in the mouth and told them to shut up and threaten their lives, as Bill Burr talks about in his show, F is for Family. But we have really grown. We've gotten better. And here goes the proof. Here goes the video I did back in 2015 of a way a dad handled his child not doing his homework. It's the story of a dad who tries to get his son to act right, get better grades. So dad orders the son to do the unthinkable. Here's the clip.
It's not my fault.
Let's go.
It's not my fault that I didn't get him.
Let's go.
It's not my fault that I didn't get him, though.
Let's go. You've had 3 weeks, Jason. Let's go.
It's not my fault. My
Too
teacher
bad.
doesn't want to give it to
Let's
me.
go.
It's not my fault.
Now.
I hate my life.
Let's go. Let's go. Next one. Let's go. Next one. Let's go.
No.
That child later on, he buckled and he fell in line. He did what his dad wanted him to do, which was smash the Xbox. And that was painful, man. That was painful for that kid. And I think it was borderline child abuse to have a child have to destroy his own games. It's sadistic. It's unnerving. It's not a way to teach a child anything. What you're teaching them is that dad is a sadist. A dad will step on your feelings and throw them in the ground and burn them. Burn the ashes and then bury them deep in the ground and not care about your thoughts at all. You're not even treated like a human being. No, this is not the way to parent your child. To parent your child, there's better ways to be a parent to your child. So fast forward to 2020. It was a dad. We're under quarantine. He's with his kids, and his kids aren't helping around the house. And this is the way the evolved dad in 2020 handles the same or a similar situation.
Shotgun, nothing. Your chores. What the crap? What the crap? You're going to buy yourself a new TV by doing chores. You're going to work it off. Where's your remotes? Put your remotes down here on the floor now. Where's the other one? I know you got another one. Where's that?
Up there?
Now you're going to work off all your crap. You're going to pay me to buy you new toys. You seem to think you get everything for free. That's not how it works. I'm not busting the PlayStation. I'm taking that with me. That's going to be mine now. You're buying a new TV, though. Shotgun, nothing. Your chores. What the crap?
All right. See the evolution there? At least he didn't make the kids destroy their own toys. Thank God for small gifts. I wouldn't do it. That's the show for the night. But I would like to close by saying, maybe you shouldn't film disciplining your children for hits on TikTok or on YouTube. Maybe it's a bad idea, Johnson. Maybe disciplining your children should be something that's a private matter that's done indoors with family. But hey, who am I? Just a guy who talks loudly on the internet. All right, guys, tomorrow you let me know what you think about this story and all the other stories we covered and stuff that'll happen tomorrow, like Joe Biden happened to actually speak to the rape allegations made by Tara Reid on Morning Joe. Don't forget, by calling in tomorrow for Freedom Friday. That's tomorrow, 10:30-ish. It'll be happening right here wherever you're watching the show. Be here, be square, get in the queue, be able to call up. It's your show. We take phone calls. And that's it. Don't forget, guys, go to Bitly. I could have put this on the screen. bit.ly/TB meet and greet. If you want to come to the meet and greet on Saturday, I'll put it on the screen tomorrow. I have a nice little thing because that way people will remember it better. If you're there moderating in the comment section, Sign of the Times, if you could put a link up, that'd be fantastic. That's all I got. I love you. Get better, Will. Thank you, Buck. Thank you, Uli. Thank you, whole crew. Thank you, Rosanna, Motorama, the whole crew for what you do. Eli, everybody moderating who's taking time out. Rev Marie, I saw you in the comment section. I appreciate you. Hope everybody's well. And remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread and sprinkle some facts on them. And with that, I'm going to go to my comment section and see if I got some comments I need to read out. Rev Marie, Tim, I will share the links. Michigan law allows guns in State House. What? All right, well, there goes that answer. Hey, True Grace, Trump rides up his minion. He cares nothing about. Damn. I don't know what to say, Rev. Thank you, Rev. In Maryland, you can't even conceal carry or carry. Gretchen Pandy. Thank you, Gretchen Pandy. Shelly Hughes. No Joe. Absolutely no Joe Johnson. Amen. Blatant hypocrisy in public is the new black for establishment Dems, and the only protests getting covered are right-wingers. Make them pay attention. I want to live in Iceland where they jail bankers. There you go, Johnson. And Richard Mays. Thank you, Richard Mays, for supporting the show. It's my rats. Did Richard Mays say something? Well, maybe Rich just gave to the show. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10:30 or so. And I love you. Be safe. Peace. This show is brought to you by you. It's brought to you by viewers like you. Become members of the Timberlake Wolfpack. Go to patreon.com, become a member today, or join on Facebook or YouTube, whatever rocks your boat. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious. They are revolutionary. And they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack. If you want political commentary that is real, insightful, honest, true, Bernie, progressive, you need to come to my channel today, subscribe, and you will get that. I'm Tim Black. I support you. I got your back. We are the voice of the people. Feel the burn. See you there. Johnson. My guest today, Dr. Cornel West. Thank you, Mr. West, for being here.
My brother, I'm just so blessed to be in conversation with you. I want to salute you. You are a force for good in a mighty way, my brother. You remind me of William Monroe Trotter, that great black radical, cutting against the grain, telling the truth, seeking justice, willing to get in trouble, be in the middle of controversy, but always grounded in quest for truth and justice, man. So I salute you, man.
Thank you, Dr. West.